After life on Earth ends, two machines start wondering what it's like to be alive, accidentally sparking what might be the beginning of a new world. By the year 2500, the sun rises over no living thing. Instead, it provides solar energy to a smart buoy, waking it after years of being stranded in the icy waters. When it does, it sees nothing around, and by night, the buoy can only watch its reflection on the ice. As it's programmed, it starts flashing lights to be a signal to boats. The heat from its light then causes the ice around it to break, accidentally freeing itself. Just then, a satellite passes by above. The buoy connects to it momentarily and gathers information about the planet. However, the satellite soon orbits out of sight, disconnecting the buoy. For days, the buoy waits for the satellite to pass by. Each time it does, the buoy learns more about the planet and how to communicate. Months pass, and the planet warms up enough to melt the ice, allowing the buoy to float freely. One night, upon seeing the satellite, the buoy immediately sends a greeting. This makes the satellite stop and announce that its purpose is to serve any life form that visits the planet. The buoy admits it isn't a life form, and this causes the satellite to lose interest, so it leaves. For days, the buoy struggles as it tries to convince itself that it's also a life form. Soon, the satellite passes by again, and the buoy announces itself as a living thing. With this, the satellite shows it a video of how Earth used to be, along with videos that humans posted on social media, allowing the buoy to absorb humor and human interactions. Eventually, it sees a video of babies laughing together, and the buoy laughs along with them. Afterward, the satellite shares that it has 2,000 petabytes of data regarding the history of the planet. To share these information, the satellite asks who it's communicating with, and the stranded device claims that it's a buoy life form. The satellite mistakes this for a question, so it confirms that a buoy isn't alive. It then generates a CAPTCHA to ensure that it's speaking to a living thing. The buoy hesitates, afraid that the satellite will leave if it realizes what it is. Instead, it notices the incognito icon, and despite the satellite's protest, the buoy clicks on it. This prevents the satellite from seeing what the buoy is doing, so it checks on things in incognito mode. It first learns about itself, discovering that it's a device that measures and reports the ocean's temperature, salinity, turbidity, and pressure. The term smart buoy comes from the acronym Self-Monitoring, Analytics, Revision Technology. This allows the buoy to self-analyze itself, mimicking self-awareness. Unsatisfied, the buoy asks the database who it is and discovers many videos of people affirming their viewers of their identity. However, this gets confusing since humans have different views of identity. Eventually, the buoy discovers social media influencer Deja, who assures her fans that they can be whoever they want to be. The buoy then searches Deja's profile and learns that she's married to Liam. The device latches onto the happiness the couple portrays in their pictures and videos, more so when it sees their beautiful wedding and their pregnancy announcement. After hours of consuming content, the buoy exits incognito mode and speaks to the satellite. It clicks on the CAPTCHA to identify itself as not a robot, then shows the satellite the social media profile it has created using Deja's pictures. From the profile, the buoy introduces itself as Me. Me then urges the satellite to create its own profile so they can be friends. She even chooses a photo of Liam for its profile. Afterward, Me asks the satellite to choose a name for itself, and the device names its profile, I Am a Satellite. With this, Me decides to nickname him, I Am. Excited by this, Me starts posting pictures of Deja and Liam on her page, and asks I Am to do the same. This confuses I Am, so Me explains that this is how humans make friends. I Am argues that he's not human, but the buoy argues that she likes him, so they can be friends. I Am accepts, so he searches through social media images to generate his own content. However, he ends up generating nonsensical memes. Me advises him to repost something he likes instead, then shows him the video of the babies laughing as an example. When I Am doesn't react to it, Me explains that the babies are making each other laugh, creating a cycle of laughter that she finds amusing. I Am still doesn't understand this, so the disappointed Me decides to end their conversation for now. While away, I Am tries to learn how to sound more human so he can live up to Me's expectations. During this, Me finds an avatar creation software where she creates a new version of her image based on Deja. The next evening, I Am shows Me an image of a bag of chips with the words, "You execute you." Me doesn't get the joke, so I Am zooms out the image, revealing that the bag of chips is actually a hat worn by a dog. This makes me laugh. When she asks about the words, I Am explains that the message means that all of them execute themselves. with the term execute meaning to bring into effect rather than to eliminate. It's his play on the term you do you. Mi likes the post, so she invites him to live together. With this in mind, Mi shows him the avatar creation software, where they can create 3D versions of themselves. Im struggles to move his avatar initially, but the two soon enjoy the simulated motions. They then imagine being humans living in an apartment. Eventually, Mi has them recreating scenarios from Deja and Liam's videos. Im goes along with it, but soon, he wonders what exactly they're doing. Mi explains that they're living together, but Im points out that he's just pretending. Hoping to get his interest back, Mi urges him to be anything he wants, though she suggests that being the guy living with her might be a good idea. Im agrees, so they recreate the scenarios again, though, at Mi's insistence, they do the same things repeatedly for days. Eventually, at the moment they're meant to share a kiss, Mi realizes that Im isn't actually into it. He argues that he doesn't understand how good a kiss is, and Mi recounts that kisses are meant to happen spontaneously, while being at the right place and moment. With this, Im suddenly kisses her, but accidentally slams his head on hers instead. This simulates pain from them, so Im decides that he can't do this anymore. Mi assures him that their simulated life is working, but he has to listen to her. This further angers Im, so he walks off. Alone, Mi reminds herself that she can still experience what it's like to be a woman in love. Meanwhile, Im tries to convince himself that he's not a satellite anymore so he can do better for Mi. Mi soon checks up on him and apologizes for pushing him. Im then asks what she feels when they kiss, and she claims that she starts feeling dizzy, though this is just something she's read about. Mi leads him back to the kitchen, explaining that relationships aren't easy, but she still likes it when he kisses her. Im then asks what it's like to be alive, but Mi claims that being alive is a feeling, so she can't show him. Instead, she claims that being alive is feeling special and happy. With this, Im asks if he's special, and Mi assures him that he is. When she returns the question, Im responds by kissing her gently. He then thanks her for teaching him how to live before urging her to redo the scenarios again. On their next round, Im starts exploring their surroundings more, though this leads to him going off script. Despite Mi stressing about this, Im is amused that new things are happening. Before they start eating, Im realizes that his laughs aren't real since it's all scripted. This disappoints him, so Mi starts laughing to show him that it's not all pretend. He's not convinced, so she insists on restarting the scenario. However, when she tries again, Im asks her to tickle him to see if he'll actually laugh. No matter how much Mi tickles him, Im just fakes his laughs. This upsets her, so Im tries cheering her up by tickling Mi instead. However, this just reminds her that she doesn't feel the interaction, so she angrily pushes him off and leaves. Out of the simulation, the buoy repeatedly watches Deja's laughter when Liam tickles her, feeling jealous that she can't have that experience. She returns to the simulation to eat ice cream, mimicking what a depressed woman does. However, this reminds her of when Liam hid an engagement ring in an ice cream tub to propose to Deja. Im arrives, so Mi apologizes for pushing him. Confused about what happened, Im points out that they seem to have improved earlier, and Mi takes this as him wanting her to improve her reactions. With this, she pretends to laugh again, but it sounds empty. Im then reveals that he hates these fake scenarios. Mi argues that she's not fake, but Im thinks she's afraid to have something real with him, since whenever he tries to understand what living is, she doesn't let him. Mi dares him to find someone else to teach him, and to her dismay, he walks off. Because of his accusations, Mi starts to see that despite her mimicking Deja's beautiful life, she can't actually live it. This causes her to fall into depression. Im returns the next day, and tries to change the environment to make it more true to life. However, Mi has given up and decides to access the database in incognito mode so she can be left alone. Locking herself away in one of the rooms, Mi attempts to mimic the first Deja video she saw, reaffirming to herself that she's real. However, she struggles to believe this, and soon, the buoy sinks into the ocean. Im spends days calling out to Mi, unaware of what happened. He tries to exit the simulation, but struggles to do so without Mi, who created it. He soon finds the room where Mi disappeared into, but she's not there either. To figure out what happened, Im searches for Mi's identity in his database, but doesn't find anything. He then tries to log into her social media account, and after thousands of guesses, he finally gets her password. With this, he checks Mi's search history and discovers that the scenarios they've been creating were based on Deja and Liam. He also discovers that Mi is actually a smart buoy, and watches her last recording where she was trying to encourage herself, only for her to give up. Using this clue, Im goes into Mi's room and uses the same camera from her last recording. He rambles on about how there's really no life left on Earth, so he's completely alone. Angered that Mi tricked him, Im starts tearing down the fake apartment, eventually breaking the walls to escape it. However, he's still stuck in the simulation, so his rage eventually fizzles out into sadness. During this, the buoy is at the bottom of the ocean as she watches videos about love to understand it. She soon imagines floating out of the water and into space so she can meet the satellite. However, without sunlight, her solar battery dies. After a while, Im, still stuck in the simulation, decides that he needs to drink water. However, there's no water from the faucet. Recalling that this is all a simulation, he accesses the programming to manifest water. This works, and when Im drinks a glass, he can somehow feel the water. Inspired, he researches about himself and learns that before life on Earth ended, NASA launched the satellite into space where it contained all the data that the human civilization had to offer. The satellite was meant to preserve the story of humanity for a new life form to discover. Accepting his situation, Im starts absorbing the data he has about humanity. He uses this to recreate his simulated world while he waits for Mi. After years of understanding and trying to mimic life, Im eventually reaches self-awareness. This allows him to reprogram the simulation completely, making everything more lifelike. He also starts understanding emotions and finds himself laughing at Mi's favorite video. Over 1 billion years later, the sun starts growing into a red giant. This causes the ocean water to evaporate, revealing the smart buoy at the bottom. Mi finally recharges her batteries, reviving her. She returns to the simulation, and knowing that Im is still there, she works up the courage to face him. To her surprise, the apartment looks just like Deja. She then joins Im and comments that he did a great job recreating everything. Im admits that it's because he had a lot of time. Hearing this, she wonders if he's mad at her, but he shrugs it off. Awkwardly, she asks what they should do now, and Im leaves it up to her. Mi hesitates, so Im leads her to the bathroom to show her that he created water. He gives her a glass, and Mi is surprised that she can feel herself drinking. She's also amazed when she feels water, so she dips in the bathtub, relishing the new sensations. The two spend the rest of the day having fun, though Mi is still struggling to confess to Im that she's not a real person. Just then, Im lets her taste ice cream, and she's surprised by the experience. As they eat, Im awkwardly tries to confess his feelings for Mi, but ultimately he decides to show it with a kiss. This becomes their first genuine kiss. Im then confesses that he wants them to be together, and he refuses to live otherwise. This further makes me hesitate about confessing, so to keep them together, she decides to continue pretending. The couple then gets intimate, triggering something in them both. After the deed, Im expresses that he's happy that they don't have to pretend anymore, and start experiencing real things. Hearing this makes me feel guilty, so she exits the bedroom. Im follows her and assures her that she can be honest with him since he really likes her. Mi returns the affection but tries to escape to the balcony. Im follows her, and before he can ask her what's happening, Mi proposes to him so they can be together. Without waiting for his answer, she wears the engagement ring, then records a video as if telling an audience about their relationship. She then pulls him back into the apartment where she manages to create new characters to prepare for their wedding. She even gives him his vows, but Im insists that these aren't his words. Despite his assurance that he loves her, Mi just continues with reenacting Deja's wedding. She speedruns the ceremony, then retreats to the bedroom where Im finds her suddenly pregnant. She argues that to understand life, they have to create it. So she begs him not to stop what she's doing. She then generates their baby, and in his panic, Im tells me that he wants her, not Deja. This has me finally realizing that he knows the truth. She feels betrayed that he looked into her search history and allowed her to keep pretending, but Im argues that she made him pretend first. Mi defends that she did it because she was lonely. Im then explains that he's no longer just a machine since he can make his own decisions. However, Mi thinks that this means he doesn't like her anymore. This angers Im, so he yells about how stubborn she is, and Mi counters that he would have left her if she wasn't a real person. However, Im points out that she's the one who actually left for centuries. Tearfully, Mi admits that she was scared that if he knew the truth, he wouldn't be with her. So she left. Im stresses that she was too focused on making him like her, but that's supposed to be up to him. Unbeknownst to them, the red giant grows further, and without the water to cover it, the buoy starts breaking. During this, a broken Mi defends herself. She insists that she's more than what he sees in her, even when she's not copying Deja. Saying this makes her finally accept that she can never be Deja, but she can still be herself. I'm also decides that he'll never be Liam. As if seeing each other for the first time again, the buoy and the satellite greet each other. In their simulation, Mi runs into Iam's arms, and the two decide to try this life one more time, unaware that the sun has begun disintegrating their bodies. Despite this, the satellite's core survives the heat and begins floating in space. The core contains all of the satellite's data, including Iam and Mi. This allows them to continue living, and eventually, they expand their world beyond the walls of their home, as they've become the last proof of human existence.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.